Hello sweet ladies, you're welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be recreating this Bubu style that was sent to me by my client. Actually, this is my first time seeing a Bubu shirt dress. Alright, so I decided to document the whole process so that I can share with you. So let's get into it. And this is how to take the center back measurement to the desired sleeve length. Alright, so let's get into it. So the first step is for you to measure your desired gown length plus your seam allowance, and then you're going to be cutting 2 of that. So my desired gown length is 60 plus 2 inches seam allowance. That will be 62. So I'm going to cut 62 out 2 times on my fabric. One will be for the front and the other will be for the back. All right, so I'll take one, I'll fold it into 2 this way, and I'll place it on my table. So this is going to be the back. Then I will take the second one, I'll fold it into 2 again. I also place it on the table, and that is going to be the front. So the down part is the back, while the upper part is the front. So I'll roll my guideline, and from there I'll measure down my nipple point, my waist length, my hip line, and then my gown length. You know, I already used my gown length to bring this thing out, so I have exactly my gown length here with 1 inch allowance at the hem already. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to extend all my lines. So I'll just extend all my lines. And please note, I'm shocking on the right side of my fabric, the very good side of my fabric. So on your nipple point, you put your bust circumference divided by 4 plus 1 inch is. Then on your waistline, you input your waist circumference measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch is. If you like, you can do ½ inch is, depends on what you want, how fitted you want it. So on the hip line, I will input the hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch is. Then I'll connect these points together. Then whatever I have on my hip line, I'm going to add extra 2 inches to it, and I'm going to put it at the hem of the dress. So the next thing now is to connect them. So from the nipple point, you connect it to the waistline, and then from the waistline you use the cuff part of your ruler and connect it to the hip line, and then from the hip line you are going to connect it down to the hem of your dress. And like I said, I'm making all these shockings on the right side of my fabric. Alright, so when you are done connecting the points, the next thing you want to do now is to transfer this shock to the second side of the front. So what you need to do is just to push your pin inside. So just push your pin inside the way I'm showing you here, all the way down to the hem of the dress. Then when you're done pushing your pin, you turn the fabric upside down like this, and then you're going to see your pins. Just use your shock and connect all the points together. The points of your pins, just connect them together. That is how to transfer your shockings from one side to the other side. All right, so I'm done transferring my shock to the second side. So the next thing you want to do now is to input the neck line. All right, so I'm going to measure 3 inches from the center of the fabric like this. That is going to be the neck width, and the neck depth for the back is going to be ½ inch. Then the neck depth for the front is going to be 3 inches. Then after that, you connect together. First, you connect the back neckline this way. Then after that, you connect the front neckline. So the next thing is to slant the shoulder. So you go to the extreme end of the shoulder, and then you are going to measure 2 inches downward, and then you are going to connect it to the neck width, and then after that you add your seam allowance. So the next thing now is to cut it out. First, you cut on the back neckline, and then you cut on the shoulders. And please note, from this point to this point is the center back measurement to your desired sleeve length. I then input mine here because I'm just working with the total width of the fabric that I have. All right, so the next thing is just to continue to cut it out. So when you're done cutting the shoulders, so you remove the one underneath, that is going to be the back. Just remove it. So the next thing now is to now cut the front neckline. So you cut the front neckline. And then when you're done cutting the front neckline, you slit the center front. You're going to be slitting the center front all the way down to the hem of your fabric. Don't forget to take off your pins. And that's it. So the next thing now is to cut your bottom placket. So I'm measuring 3.5 inches like this, and then I'm going to cut it, and the length is going to be your gown length, and you'll be needing 2 of that. So the width of this is 3.5 and we have 2, and this is going to be our bottom placket. So from the center of the front neckline, you are going to be attaching your bottom placket. Okay, so we are going to be preparing the bottom placket now. First, you are going to iron your gum stay. Then after that, you fold 1 inch like this and press it down. You see, you fold 1 inch. Then after that again, you fold it over again like this by 1 inch, leaving just ½ inch out this side. So you are going to press it down. So that is just it. We are going to be attaching it to the center front, and this is our bottom placket. And you do it for the 2 strips that you cut. Don't forget, the width of this strip is 3.5 and the length is your gown length, and you need 2 of it. So we're going to be sewing it now. This is the back and this is my neckline. So place one side of the front on top of it like this. Make sure you align them together, and right side will be facing the right side. Align them together on the neckline, and then you join the shoulders together with ½ inch seam allowance. So when you're done with one side, you place the second side of the front on top of the back again, and then you're going to join the shoulders together with ½ inch allowance also. All right, so when this is done, the next thing now is to attach your placket. So you turn your fabric to the wrong side, and then you're going to be working with the front part of the dress. You can also attach your plackets first before joining the shoulders together. You can just do whatever that you find easy. So this is my placket. So I'm going to be opening it this way. So I'll place it on top of the front neckline like this. You can make it to be like 1 inch higher than the neckline this way. So place it on top of it. The right side of the placket will be facing the wrong side of the front, and then you're going to stitch together with ½ inch seam allowance, and then you're going to stitch it all the way down from the neckline down to the hem of the dress. Don't forget, we are stitching with ½ inch seam allowance. So when you're done, cut off the excess if you have excess. So the next thing is for you to turn the dress to the right side. Turn the dress to the right side. You're still working with the front, don't forget. Turn it to the right side, and then you bring your placket, and then you are going to stop stitch your placket on top of it this way. Make sure you push all your seam allowance towards the placket side, and then you are going to top stitch right on top of it this way. Because we have ironed it, it will be very easy for you. It's just for you to top stitch it so that you can cover all the seam allowance. All right, so I'm done with one side. You repeat the same thing to the second side of the front. Attach your placket to the wrong side, then turn it to the right side and top stitch. And yeah, that is it. We're done with the placket. So the next thing you want to do now is to hem the bottom part of the dress. So just fold it once like this, and then you fold it again, and you're going to make your stitch. All right, so when you're done with the bottom part of your dress, the next thing is to repeat the same step with the wings. So just the wings of your dress, you're going to be folding it 2 times, just the way you hem the bottom part of the dress. If you like, you can also finish the wings with your bias, but I'm just folding mine. So fold twice and then you run your stitch. All right, so when you're done with all of this, the next thing is for us now to cut our collar. So for the collar, you need to measure round the neckline from one placket in front round to the second placket in front, like this. From the placket, from the bottom placket in front, starting from the beginning of the bottom placket, you're going to be measuring the neckline all around till you get back to the second opening. Just place it into 4 folds. Place it into 4 folds this way. I always like to have a starting point for anything I'm doing, so I'll roll my starting point. This is 1 inch starting point. All right, so the length of the collar is going to be that circumference that you got while measuring the neckline. When I was measuring, I got 17. If you divide the 17 by 2, that will give you 8.5. Then you are going to be adding allowance of ½ inch to it, so that will be 9. So I'll measure 9. This is 9. So the depth of the base of the collar is going to be 1.7. So you measure 1.7, that is 1 3/4. 1 3/4. Then you square it. 1 3/4. So you square it this way. Can you see? Just square it like this. So the next thing you want to do now is to locate the midway of this. If you divide 9 by 2, that will give you 4.5. 4.5. This is the midway. Do the same thing for the upper line. That is 4.5. All right, so the next thing you want to do now is to come to this edge and then you measure ½ inch upward. Measure ½ inch upward. Then to the upper line also you measure ½ inch upward this way. So the next thing you want to do is to use the cuff, this light cuff area of your ruler, to connect from here to the midway, and then you do the same thing from here to here also. So just place the slight cuff area of your ruler and connect it this way. Then you do the same thing to this part also, like this. Can you see? So this is the way it is now. So the next thing you want to do now is to finish this upper part. You can just use your hand and round it, or you can leave it square like this. So whatever you choose to do is now totally optional. So from here, just round it. So just curve it like this. So just curve it, give it a slight curve like this. Just give it a slight curve. So just give it a slight curve. Give it a slight curve here, and then you can cut it out. So the base of the collar is ready. So just cut it out. So this is how it's looking. So if you open it up, you have to because one will line the other. So moving on now, time to cut the upper collar now. So first, don't forget to first rule your, just have a starting point. It's always good to have a starting point. So this is the starting point. So the next thing you want to do now, the length of this first one that will cut is 9. So you are going to reduce it by 1. So this is going to be 8. This is 8. And then the length, the depth of the collar is going to be 2.7. That is 2 3/4. So just do it like this. 2 3/4, and then you square it. Clear? So the next thing you want to do, don't forget this one, this is going to be the base of it. So locate the midway. The midway is going to be 4 if you divide it by 2. So this is the center. Then you come to this edge, you come down by half like this, and then just use that slight curved part of your ruler and connect it together like this. Like this. Then you now come to this place, you come outside by 1/2 inch. Measure 1/2 inch outside the bust, just half. Then from this place you slant it to that part, and then your collar is ready. As simple as A and B and C, and that's just it. Next is for you to cut it out. Alright, so this is it. This is how your collar is. Can you see? So this is how your collar is going to be. Easy peasy. So if you open it, you have 2 of this. You have 2. One is going to be lining the other. You're going to be using one to line the other. So this is the upper one, and then this is the base of the collar. And that's it. So this is your collar, it is ready. So the first step you need to do now is for you to fuse it with your stay. So just place stay right on top of it and gum it, and then you do the same thing to this one. Then you gum it. Gum your stay on it. I'm gumming my stay on only one side, just one side, like that. So for this one, you're going to be joining it together all around here. So one side of this one you fold 1/4 inch upward at the base of the collar. Alright, now that I'm done with the base of the collar, I will take the upper collar to the sewing machine and I will join it all around, and I'll come back and show you what is to do. Alright, so this is it now. So you can see I sewed the 2 sides, I sew it with 1/2 inch, but the upper part I sew it with 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch. Alright, so the next thing is for you to notch the corner. Notch the corner. notch the corner, and then you turn it to the right side. Turn it to the right side. Make sure you insert the edge of your scissors and push the corner out. Don't poke it. So you just push it out. Same thing goes to this part. Make sure you push the corner out and then you press it. Alright, so I'll just press it now. Alright, so I've pressed it. It's all flat now. So the next thing you want to do is to fold it into two like this, and then you locate the midpoint and notch. Just a small tiny little cut. Alright, so you bring these other two pieces out. This other piece, bring it out. Also locate the center at the upper part and notch it. Locate the center at the upper part and notch it. So this is how it is. So the next thing you want to do is to place this one on top of it. Make sure you match the notching together. Make sure the notched parts, ensure they align properly. So you take it to the sewing machine and you stitch together first. Then I'll show you what next to do. Right, so I'm done joining it together. I've joined it together. So the next thing is to place this one on top of it like this. Make sure the notching matches properly also. Then you take it to the sewing machine and you sew it all the way. Sew it 1/4 inch from the beginning like this all around till you get back to this point. Alright, so I'll go and do that. Alright, so I'm done joining it together. I've joined it together. So the next thing is to place this one on top of it like this. Make sure the notching matches properly also. Then you take it to the sewing machine and you sew it all the way. Sew it 1/4 inch from the beginning like this all around till you get back to this point. Alright, so I'll go and do that. Alright, so I've joined it. You can see, just follow the shape you have there, and then after that you notch it. You notch it all around. Alright, so you turn it to the right side now and iron. You press it. Alright, so I've ironed it, and then you can see this is how it's looking. You can see this is the allowance for joining it to the main body, and then this is how it's looking. So the next thing you want to do now is to attach it to the bubu. Alright, so this is your collar. It's almost ready. Alright, so I'll join it to the bubu. So this is the neckline. This is the neck area. This is one placket, this is the other. So make sure you locate the center of the neckline at the back. So just fold the two. This is the two plackets. Match the two plackets together this way so that you can locate the center of the neckline. So once you locate it, you notch it, and then you place, match the collar. This is the collar. This is the collar. Match it together also so that you can notch just a little tiny cut so that you can note the center also. So once you locate the center, you match them together on the wrong side. Open it. This is your collar now. Open it up like this. This side here, match it with the center and pin it. You pin at the center, then you work it all around and pin it all around the neckline. If you do your calculations correctly, it will be the exact, you can see it will be the exact length of this place. So you can pin it all around, or you can just sew it there. So I'll go ahead and stitch it. When you're sewing, make sure you flip this one away, out of the way, and then you stitch it together. Once you are done, it's going to be looking like this. You see, this is how it's going to be looking. Can you see? Once you're done, it's going to be looking like this. No, we stitch it from the wrong side. So from the wrong side, it's looking like this. From the wrong side, it's looking like this. So the next thing you want to do now, is to top stitch this place that you iron. Just top stitch it. Push all your seam allowance inside. Push all your seam allowance. Push them all inside, and then you top stitch all around. Now you can see how beautiful your collar is. And then from the good side, this is how it's looking. And yeah, just iron it and then you're good to go. Alright, now that we're done with the collar, the next thing we're going to be doing is to close the side. Just follow the shock that you have on the right side of the bubu, and then you just close the side. Just follow your shock. So when you're done closing the side, the next thing is to mark the position of your buttonhole. I put one mark at the base of the collar, then from there I measure 3 inches interval, and that is going to be the position of my buttonhole. And the buttonhole is going to be on the right hand side of the bubu. Alright, so that's going to be the end of the class for today. Please kindly subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Please don't forget to give this video a giant thumbs up. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.